Welcome back, guys. This is Ali's take. I'm back. Have not dropped a video. A lot of things I didn't commentate on. Obviously, have not dropped a video on how the Premier League's going, how Manchester United's doing. Have not commented on that London derby with Manchester United. Arsenal versus Tottenham. Did not say anything about City versus Chelsea. Fucking great game. Not talked about anything in the Champions League, but we are back. We're going to be talking about some contenders. Who I think are contenders. Obviously, we're going into the knockout stage. We're going to be talking about some of the performances over the last 2 days with most of the teams. But yeah, just gonna rush over the derbies and Chelsea versus Man City. First, let's talk about Arsenal. Making a case for them being probably one of the best teams in Europe. Have not lost a game so far since their second game of the season. I'm pretty sure I've just been on a win streak off that. That performance against, I would say that game Arsenal versus Tottenham is definitely the best game that I've seen in this of the season so far, and probably going to remain the best game of the season. Chelsea versus Man City, that happened a while ago. Probably the best team performance I've seen, and probably going to be the best team performance for the whole year on Chelsea's part. Obviously, not being able to. Man City not being able to contain Chelsea with their press like they usually do to every single team. Chelsea just absolutely getting the better of them. But yeah, man, let's just talk about the Champions League. Obviously, my favorite tournament when it comes to the quality of soccer. Like I've said before in my other videos, it's my favorite tournament. I like it more than the World Cup when it comes to the actual quality of the sport. World Cup's just a special tournament. It happens every 4 years. We all know this. But yeah, man, let's fucking talk about some of the performances. I mean, did any of us expect Liverpool to actually beat Napoli and make it out? I for sure did not, even though I'm a huge fan of Liverpool. The group of death, I honestly didn't even think PSG was going to make it out of that group from the slow start that they had in their group. But yeah, man, Liverpool just got the better of Napoli. In my opinion, I thought Napoli could have taken it. I think they just did not play as good. Ancelotti, fucking butchered that. But I think Napoli's been doing absolutely great under him. I mean, fucking Bayern were roasting him last season, saying that I think it was either Robin or Mueller saying that their 5-year-old daughter's practice is more intense than what he has when he was coaching Bayern, and now they're fucking third place for a league that they usually win. They have won for 8 years in a row. Now they're in third place. So, and the Napoli's doing absolutely amazing. A huge loss for them not making it into the knockout stage, though, in my opinion. I thought they really could have done it. I honestly didn't want to see PSG go through it. I do love a lot of the players on PSG, but I think they're so overrated right now. So many flaws in PSG, and I like right when they get into the knockout stage, I can't wait to see who they're going to play. Because anybody in the knockout stage could easily beat them. If we're talking about contenders, I do not think PSG is a contender. Their midfield is just absolutely awful. Don't have the strongest defense. Regardless if Dani Alves is coming back, from injury or whatever he was off, do not think he's that good anymore. He was probably not the best defending right back anyway. Still a legend though. Thiago Silva is just an absolute legend himself, doing fantastic. I don't think their defense is the weakest part. Definitely the midfield. And I'm just going to say, man, I'm going to come out and say that I don't think Mbappe is... I don't think he plays well against world-class defenders. I mean, against Real Madrid, against Marcelo, didn't do that good. First game against Robertson, didn't do that good. Even in the World Cup, when he went up against, world-class defenders, when he went up against Uruguay, who was the best defensive team, I think he had the most turnovers or most incomplete dribbles. So... I don't know, man. I don't think Mbappe plays well against world-class defenders. Obviously, Neymar is just a fantastic player. I think Cavani is a fantastic player. Well, I still think Mbappe is a great player. I just don't think he plays as good when he's on, when he's against a world-class defender. But at the same time, the front three for PSG, in my opinion, is that team. I think if they had, just one of the top 3 players like Neymar, Cavani, or Mbappe out of that squad, I don't think they'd be doing as good. And I don't even think they'd be able to make it, to the knockout stage. I just think they're overrated, but that's just me. Great to see Liverpool going through, though, even though, like I said, I thought Napoli could have easily beat them and go through. But the group of death, probably the best group to watch. So that was, that was really interesting to watch those guys, really entertaining. Bayern and Ajax go through. That Ajax and Bayern game is, I didn't watch all of it. I watched the highlights, but I was flipping through, all the games. Lewandowski finishing as the top scorer, which is, it's not shocking. I'd put him up there as probably the second best striker behind Suarez in the world right now. But that's just me. I don't think Bayern is a contender at all, though. I think they're getting knocked out against, if they play like Barcelona, Man City, Juve. Even if they play PSG, I think they're going to get knocked out, in all honesty. But at the same time, in that game, Bayern could easily beat PSG. So it kind of goes both ways. Juve taking their first loss in 13 months. And like I said in every single one of my videos, Juve is the team that's going to win. So many reasons why they're the contenders to win the whole thing. Obviously, the best, probably the best defense in the world. One of the best midfields in the world, and one of the best attacks. Dybala, Bernardeschi, Mandzukic, Ronaldo, just quality players. Douglas Costa coming off the bench, like all these players are just absolutely fantastic. And a team that took their first loss, after 13 months, so that's pretty crazy. Teams like Man City taking losses early in the Champions League to Lyon, and losing to Chelsea last weekend. So I mean, some of the best teams in the world are still taking losses, and this one's their first one. So I mean, they're obviously showing great progress from the last year, from the changes they made on the transfer market. Obviously, picking up the best player in the world, best player of all time, Ronaldo. But yeah, Juve, in my opinion, the contenders to win it. I don't think any team at the moment rivals them. Or it's kind of biased to say, but in all honesty, I just think they're on top of, teams like Man City, teams like Barcelona. And like I said, who is one of the best teams in the world? Borussia Dortmund at the moment. I think they're just head and shoulders above some of those teams. And let's just talk about Manchester United, okay? Some of you guys are going to call me you're going to think what a fucking fake fan, but I wasn't going to watch the game, in all honesty. I wanted to watch it, but at the same time, I was like, do I really want to turn this fucking thing on? So I missed the first goal. Did not watch it. And then after the first goal, I was like, fuck, might as well just watch it. And I watched it all the way up till I think the 70th minute. And just what a fucking god-awful team right now. And I say this to everybody. Every single team has gone better. In the Premier League, the 4 teams, Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, all gone better. Okay, Manchester United is the only big club in the world that's gone worse. Real Madrid had the worst start in Real Madrid history. Okay, or one of the worst starts in Real Madrid history, and now they qualified and they're doing great in the league. PSG slow start in the Champions League, fucking qualified first in their group. Obviously killing League One. Borussia Dortmund doing fantastic. Manchester United is the only big club in the world that's just gone worse. Okay, and it's sad to say because they're my boys, but they're fucking shit right now. I mean, when you look at all the other teams, you're asking if you look at all the big clubs in the world, you're asking who's the superstar in their team, or does this team actually have a superstar, or they're just playing fantastic? Borussia Dortmund, in my opinion, does not have a superstar. I think most of the players who play on Borussia Dortmund would not start on any of the big clubs, or like I said, the other best teams in Europe. But they're fucking playing great with each other. Paco Alcacer is probably, honestly, I take back what I said about Suarez. I would say Paulo Alcacer is probably the best striker in the world right now. Just doing absolutely fantastic. I mean, has like 10 shots, 10 goals. Fucking amazing. But let's look at Lukaku for Manchester United. Just literally god awful. Okay, that's just, I mean, like how long, like how long until they make some fucking changes for the team? I can't keep it bottled up anymore. As regardless if I'm a huge fan of these guys, Lukaku just god awful. Fred, what the fuck did we spend money on him for? I literally look up on my phone. I look up fucking to watch the game, and he's kicking the ball out. Okay, just in my opinion, the only team that has not gone better. Obviously shown that. Are they contenders to win? Absolutely not. I mean, once they get knocked out, hopefully after they have the fucking Bournemouth is doing better than us. And no disrespect to Bournemouth. I mean, obviously the Premier League, in my opinion, is the hardest league in the world. The fact that Bournemouth is doing better than Manchester United, nobody in the fucking world would have said that starting to come this season. But that's what's going on. It's just sad, really. But by the end of the season, maybe even by the transfer window, you'll see some changes. Regardless if Pogba goes and Lukaku goes, I won't even fucking flinch. I would actually appreciate if they did leave. That's just my opinion, though. Sorry if I don't want to offend anybody, but at the same time, it's just hard to be a fan of them at the moment. But I know things will get better by the next year, so just gonna have to stick through this year. But let's go to a team that I actually like talking about. Borussia Dortmund, like I said, Paco Alcacer, probably the best striker in the world right now. Sacho, the American youngster who's fucking killing the league, and it's actually surprising to me that they're the first in the league, but they do deserve it. Like I said, they're one of out of the 4 teams that I listed, they are one of the best teams in Europe. I don't think they're contender though. In all honesty, I do not think they'll be able to win it just because of going up against some teams. I don't think they'll be able to work under pressure. I don't think if they go 1-0 down, I don't think some of the players will be able to get them back up there. But at the end of the day, I could be wrong, man. I could be wrong. On paper, they're absolutely fucking fantastic, so it doesn't really matter. I would love to see them play against one of the other best teams in Europe. I would love to see them play against a Man City, a Barcelona, and a Juve. I would love to see how they play. Obviously, it'd be great experience because it's a super young team. I think Royce is probably one of the, I don't want to say one of the oldest players, but he, even though he's still young, I think he's like 27 now, he's still a lot older than some of the players that are playing, and that shows you a lot. Being 27 is not old in all honesty, but he's older than most of the players that start. So that just shows you how young this Borussia Dortmund team is. The manager is just doing absolutely amazing. So, but are they contenders? I don't think so. And that goes for a bunch of other teams. Like I said, I don't think PSG are contenders. I don't think Bayern are contenders. If we move on and talk about Real Madrid, I don't think they're contenders either. Soler just came out and said that he takes, fucking butchered that name too, but the manager for Real Madrid just came out and said that he takes full responsibility for their loss today, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, other coaches have came out and said though that Real Madrid do not like to play in non-champagne games that really don't matter for them. They don't like to get wins against lower clubs if they don't have to. So obviously they're already qualified. They go play some fucking team and they lose 3-0. I think it was the worst home loss in in Real Madrid history or something like that. But it happens, man. Real Madrid are just they're not contenders at all. I mean, yeah, Modric fucking won the Ballon d'Or, won UEFA's best player, and then won men's best player. But did he deserve it? Absolutely not. But that's a video for a different day. Anyway, like I said, Real Madrid are not contenders. They're just not playing good. Gareth Bale, not playing good at all. Asensio. So Modric came out and said he's playing like shit as well. I think Toni Kroos is probably one of their better players right now, in all honesty, but the team is just not playing that good. Obviously, with Lopetegui getting sacked, they've done a lot better. And they got better with the same players. So I know there's a lot of beef with like Lopetegui and the Real Madrid locker room. So was it how Lopetegui played them, or was it the manager himself? But at the same time, Lopetegui fucking was putting like Toni Kroos as center defensive mid. So it could be, but I feel like Real Madrid just have too many problems going on in the club with them right now to be contenders. Okay, like I said, the worst start in Real Madrid history, or tied with the worst start in Real Madrid history. So I think they got a lot of shit going on right now. Next year, okay, they could be contenders, but this year they're not. So hopefully they make it into the Champions League next year. But as of right now, they're definitely not going to win. Okay, we talk about another team, Man City. Probably the last team I'm going to talk about for today. But Man City losing to Chelsea over the weekend. If we talk about that for a second, everybody came out and said that, or people came out and said that if you stop Jorginho, if you hold down Jorginho, you'll lose, or Chelsea will lose. But that didn't fucking happen. Okay, they tried to press Chelsea, did not work. Take the loss then, and then when they played Lyon, I think it was tied either 1-1. And, that just shows you that, and for people who are trying to make excuses for PSG, like I said in my last video, for people who are trying to make excuses for PSG that, oh, they play in League One, they're not competitive, blah, blah. But Lyon is fucking tying and beating the best, arguably the best team in Europe. So what the fuck's that mean for PSG? And that's just another point to my argument that PSG is just not a contender for the Champions League, to win it all. But Manchester City is definitely a contender in my opinion. Obviously couldn't beat Lyon in the 2 games that they played, but at the same time, I think Pep Guardiola is one of the smartest managers ever. In all honesty, fantastic. So I feel like if he plays another team, he'll definitely learn from Lyon like he always does, like City always do. So in my opinion, the contenders that we have, Barcelona for sure. Oh, I gotta talk about them. But Barcelona, Man City, and Juve. Manchester City just playing out of their fucking mind. I know they're in second place, which is surprising that Liverpool is actually in first. But for contenders for the cup, I do put City up for this time, even though the last 2 years they just fucking choked and lost. But they're contenders. And Barcelona, not much to say, man. It's Barcelona. I mean, they tied Tottenham. Messi wasn't playing, which regardless how much hate I give to Messi, it's surprising. Okay. Messi is a huge player for them, second best player in the world, 5th of Ballon d'Or. Just gonna put that out there, but if Messi plays, they definitely could have won. And Barcelona are definitely a scary team this year. The midfield looking amazing. The attack, Ousmane Dembele's fucking an animal. Coutinho, one of the best players for Barcelona right now. Suarez, you already know about Suarez. You already know. He's just fucking one of the best strikers in the world right now. So, like I said, Barcelona, Manchester City, and Juve, definitely the contenders. But if you guys don't agree with me on that, or if you guys have anything to say in the comments about the recap that we just had with the Champions League games, just leave it down in the comments, man. If you're a Manchester United fan and you think they're doing good, you're fucking blind. Okay, but that's it for this video. If you guys like the video, just make sure you give it a thumbs up and just make sure you subscribe. I'm out.